Hey, what is going on everyone, and welcome back into another Amphibia analysis video, which quite honestly shouldn't take long at all basically. I've noticed that a ton of you have been posting comments and sending me multiple emails about getting back into the Owl House, and that's only fair considering how the first season has already ended. So not only is this video analysis shorter than most, but I've already decided to flip-flop between the Owl House and Amphibia for the meantime. Like always, get ready for yet another day of analyzing, and let's roll that intro. So to begin with today's video is to pretty much summarize the first part of this episode titled Scavenger Hunt. It all begins with Marcy treating everyone out to one of the best beetle burger restaurants of Amphibia. And I guess at this point both Anne and Marcy have already become accustomed to digesting insects by now. But as for the episode as a whole, the king of Amphibia personally ends up giving Marcy a scavenger hunt that eventually uncovers secret words in order to create a single phrase. And during their adventure, it's discovered that Anne doesn't feel as intelligent or let alone useful whenever Marcy is around, simply due to the fact that Marcy is insanely intelligent and great at uncovering clues on her own. She literally was smart enough to help the Newtopians reconstruct their bridge, and so they made a statue of her as a sign of gratitude. During their adventure solving the secret codes, Anne may not have excelled in problem or puzzle solving, but instead what makes her especially unique from most people is how well she helps and connects with others. An ability that literally saves her life in the end after being trapped in a sewer system from Anne attempting to guess where the last clue was located in. Oh yeah, and Marcy somehow also managed to fix cleaning the sewer system back in Newtopia as well. I wonder if that's an issue that she can also fix back where the toads are, back in Toad Tower.
Boy, those toads really stink!
But anyways, back on Anne and talking about how well she is at connecting with others, it's something that in the end Marcy herself admits to not being good at as Anne is. And personally, I for one can relate to Marcy. Sometimes you don't even have to be a complete introvert, but just talking to people in general can be difficult. At the very end of part 1, the full message is shown to be bring me the planters. And this is the moment that I really wanted to get into, and I'm gonna be going straight into part B of this episode, so bear with me. As we all know by now, the king of Amphibia was expecting to have Anne be a part of whatever plan he had in store, given by his cryptic way of placing the Anne figurine alongside with Marcy's. However, just coming from his reveal, he doesn't seem to be as much of a threat, welcoming the planters with open arms and even breaking proper castle etiquette as he shows so much kindness. But then again, first impressions can be deceiving, as explained by Sprague when first meeting Marcy, and you really can't blame the dude after the whole Sasha betrayal. And who's to even say that the king doesn't have any other things in mind to use the planters for? Have we all forgotten that Hop Pop was, and I quote, inspiring rebellions all across the valley? Plus, once again, Newtopia dubbed Grime as a traitor after he demoted himself from his position as the captain of the Toads, who obviously were abusing their superiority towards the common folk. King Andrias, which by the way is a callback to the actual title of Giant Salamanders, even showed interest in receiving the music box so that he could supposedly help Marcy and Anne get back home. But here's something else that really grabbed my attention, and that, my friend, is the same exact symbol that has been consistently appearing in multiple areas throughout Newtopia. Seem familiar? Well, you're right. You see, this same similar insignia is seen on Grime's Toad army, which would make sense considering how technically Grime was under the Newtopians. And so would it be safe to assume that not only is this the same emblem found on Anne's armor in the introduction, but also the same one seen on the robotic frog in the first few episodes of this season? Because if that is the case, who's to say that this robot and robot manufacturing factory isn't owned by the Newts? And let's also consider how old King Andrias is revealed to be aged by the Princess Lady Olivia herself. She calls him out to be well over a millennium, making it possible that he should be aware of how unfairly structured his kingdom can be, as well as have some knowledge on what the ancient factories were there for. I mean, you're telling me he lived that long and knows nothing about it? Plus, even given by how he's represented within the season 2 poster, it's as if he's shown to be on the darker side of characters. But it's just far too coincidental how he's shown in the very back and given an even darker shade than both Grime and Sasha. And notice how Polly and the gang are shown to be up front and much more visible in the light. This of course is not only to show the main characters, but potentially hint who the true heroes and villains are of the story. Lastly, though he may have come across as a laid-back king, he seemed overly excited about meeting Anne and her friends. But one thing's for sure, he did seem to have some knowledge about the Calamity Box. Perhaps this time we'll dwell deep on what Hop Pop had seen about the supposed dangers behind it. However, as of right now, Hop Pop still hasn't even confessed about secret secretly hiding the box away, so only time will tell. As for the rest of this particular episode, the gang are even given a royal credit card for spending. So immediately Sprig gets the great idea of going on a spending spree while everyone else has the smart idea of resting before exploring Newtopia. Only he goes out spending away inside the royal hotel and eventually gets himself into trouble after losing the card and turning Super Saiyan Blue. But yeah, he loses possession of the card and it soon gets in the hands of a minimum waged employee named Bella, a character voice acted by none other than comedian actress Kristen Shaw. So if she sounds like that woman from that sexy Super Bowl commercial, that's why. I mean, if it sounds like Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls, then you know why. Anyways, Bella attempts to steal the card since she clearly needed the money to pay off her multiple stacks of debt, said every college student. But she later changes her ways and realizes her wrongdoings. But thankfully, due to Sprig's convincing performance as a richaholic, he gets Bella's boss to give her a raise and be commended for her services. And so the episode ends, surprisingly, with Sprig getting away with abusing his spending privileges, but ironically loses all of his sleep. I wonder if we'll ever see Bella again, cause she didn't seem like a one-time character and had a nice personality. These two episodes definitely had some elements that were more than meets the eye, especially the scenes including the king of Amphibia himself. Now, I for one still don't buy his nice guy act just yet. I mean, he still has the potential of having something much more sinister in mind. What do you all think about the symbol theory, for example? You think it resembled the ancient robot quite a bit? And by the way, when will we see it again? Because so far, he was shown heading in the exact same direction as the planters. But all in all, this has once again been your boy, The Next Big Thing, with another video. Don't forget that this channel has a Patreon worth supporting, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!